Today on What's Next.
I'm 90 years old, and I still love traveling the world.
Considering where I came from, I mean, look at this. I'm out on a bike ride on a, Tuesday afternoon with a bunch of my buddies.
It is one of the most fulfilling parts of life, is helping others.
Hello and thanks for joining us on Growing Boulder's What's Next. I'm Mark Middleton. I've been asked, why focus on what's next? Isn't that in conflict with mindfulness? It's a great question. Mindfulness is about being present, fully engaged in the moment, appreciating where you are right now. But having something to look forward to is what keeps the present moment charged with energy and purpose. It's what gives our life its forward momentum. Think of it like this. Mindfulness helps you savor the journey, while a what's next mindset ensures that the journey continues. Speaking of the journey continuing, we recently traveled to Las Vegas for a celebration of Virtuoso, a global network of travel advisors who specialize in one-of-a-kind, premium, and personalized travel experiences. Virtuoso advisors helped create the luxury travel market thanks to the hard work of a group of visionary entrepreneurs, women now in their 70s, 80s, and 90s who have created generations of impact. Women like Nancy Strong, one of Virtuoso's matriarchs who shaped a profession and transformed an industry.
My name is Nancy Strong. I am the owner of Strong Travel Services in Dallas, Texas. I'm 90 years old, and I still love traveling the world. Why? Because it's all about the people.
Nancy Strong's first ever job was making $2 an hour delivering airline tickets for a Dallas travel agency.
They put out a directive that the 5 women working there would have to make their coffee. So I went to my typewriter in 1974 and wrote a memo saying, since I don't avail myself of the coffee, I'm not going to make it. They considered it the most revolutionary act and fired me on the spot. So here I was, my first job in my whole life, and I lost it.
Undeterred, she started her own agency, hired a friend, and leased a small office in a 60-story building. They marketed their services by riding up and down in an elevator, pretending to be customers of a hot new travel agency.
I would say, have you tried that new agency on the 10th floor? Oh, tell me about it. Oh, I said, they're wonderful. You have to try them. They're terrific. They're kind of new. So, and we did this whole shtick.
The shtick stuck. She opened 6 additional locations, riding the elevators to success in corporate travel, leisure travel, and a new specialty that she helped pioneer, luxury travel. In 1993, the Wall Street Journal wrote a cover story about her unique, personalized approach to serving clients.
I would wrap a single yellow rose, the yellow rose of Texas, and I would wrap it with a ribbon, and I would send one of the kids to the airport and get on the plane and present it to the wife with a little note from me saying, "May every sight bring delight and every mile a smile. Enjoy your trip, Nancy Strong." It was a drop-dead gesture that they weren't going to forget.
Before the internet, she faxed baseball scores, photos of pets, and overnighted videotapes of football games to traveling clients.
The things I did were certainly out of the box and a little crazy to understand in today's world.
Today, Strong Travel Services has thousands of clients worldwide, and Nancy takes great pride in mentoring a new generation of female leaders.
I think women have the touch. We are nurturing, we understand, and we know about service.
One woman she is especially proud of is Taylor Swift. Nancy calls herself the world's oldest Swiftie.
My favorite song is The Man. Why? Because she had the experience, like I did, with making the coffee and having men say, you have to do this. Her record company was saying, you can't have your records. And she said, excuse me, I'll make my own. And she did better than them. So that can-do attitude got my attention.
Her granddaughter, Jennifer Strong, is also a Swiftie, and they decided to try to get tickets to the Eras Tour in Paris. Nancy stayed up most of the night when the tickets went on sale and was awakened at 4 a.m. when Jennifer burst into her bedroom.
Grammy,
What?
we're going to see Taylor Swift.
We're going?
Yes,
And where?
in Paris.
Fantastic. Oh my God.
Unbeknownst to me, she filmed it. It ended up on TikTok. And the next day, she called me. She said, Grammy, you've got 10,000 followers on TikTok.
They made it to Paris, and Nancy was having the time of her life dancing with 45,000 other Swifties.
Evidently, one of the people filmed me and threw it up on Instagram. My daughter-in-law called me and she said, Grammy, you're famous.
These days, Strong Travel Services is a family business with 3 generations serving thousands of clients worldwide.
I have 12 grandchildren, 6 boys, 6 girls. These 6 granddaughters seem to take a page out of my book. You know, Grammy, we want to be like you. So I said, okay, if you want to be like me, this is how it works. You got to get up and go get them. You cannot sit here and watch another Netflix. You can't go to Starbucks and while the hours away. And you can't sit on Match.com.
It's advice that Nancy still lives by. At 90, she's excitedly looking forward to another decade of traveling, working, spending time with her family, and no doubt catching a few concerts.
Because you have to understand, even though we are rather senior, we still have the mind, the heart, and the spirit of a 20-year-old. I have a philosophy about old age. I tell all my friends, get a good hairdresser who knows how to color your hair. Learn how to put on the war paint so you don't look too old. And keep moving, because that's the key, that's the secret. Life is short. Enjoy the journey. There's no third act. Seize the day, and thank God for every day you have.
What an incredible life that Nancy Strong has led. She isn't just inspiring and mentoring a new generation of travel advisors. Her example is something we can all learn from, something we can all adapt to our own life. For instance, this, don't make the coffee. Nancy had the courage to stand up against sexist stereotypes in the workplace. Whether it's sexism, racism, or ageism, be the change you want to see in the world. Don't give up or give in. Don't make the coffee. Number 2, keep moving. You heard Nancy say, that's the key, that's the secret. She means that literally and figuratively. Keep your body and your mind moving. Don't be afraid of change. Change is the wave you ride to success and happiness. And number 3, chase your passions. Even if you're in your 90s and your passion is seeing Taylor Swift perform, Nancy's passion for popular culture has brought her closer to the younger generations in her family and to Swifties all around the globe. Her passion has led to adventure, excitement, and countless memorable moments.
It's not just what he's doing, it's how he does it.
Every single morning, I can't think of one morning he hasn't gotten up and said, it's a beautiful morning.
Welcome back to Growing Boulder's What's Next as we celebrate the many ways a positive, bolder attitude can change your life. The need to overcome adversity is something we all have in common. Some of us are better at it than others. And that's why the stories of ordinary people who overcome extraordinary challenges are such valuable life lessons for all of us. Legendary NBC storyteller and Growing Boulder contributor Mike Leonard shares a story we can all learn from.
Thanks, Mark. How people deal with adversity defines who they are. My friend and neighbor Mark Stephan is a tough guy, a veteran marathoner and Ironman triathlete. Then the accident, the paralysis, and his incredible, inspiring response.
From the San Diego coastline, he headed east, through the mountains and the valleys, the forests and the deserts, on noisy city streets and quiet country roads. Sometimes by himself, but more often surrounded by an ever-changing roster of friends and supporters. The destination? St. Augustine, Florida. The distance? 3,129 miles.
Every pedal is now a pedal closer to home.
53-year-old Mark Stephan, a suburban Chicago resident and married father of 4, is a quadriplegic after fracturing his spinal cord in a bicycle accident almost 5 years ago. He wasn't supposed to walk, let alone ride again. But sheer willpower,
If you think you're done, you're done.
coupled with innovative treatments at the pioneering Rehabilitation Institute of Chicago, put Mark back on his feet. A few years ago, I chronicled his ascent to the top of Chicago's Willis Tower. And now, this bicycle odyssey, a fundraising effort for the Rehab Institute that got him going again. A tough, uphill going. Weathering all kinds of adversity, including an accident that caused minor injuries and a time-consuming equipment repair. Yet he pressed on, through the challenges, the setbacks, and the constant reminders of how life used to be.
But I see you're smiling.
Oh yeah, Mike, considering where I came from, look at this. I'm out on a bike ride on a, Tuesday afternoon with a bunch of my buddies.
Yeah.
That's not all bad.
An amazingly positive outlook that astounded Katie Robin Garten, who was hired to document the journey on video.
I say to people, it's not just what he's doing, it's how he does it.
Lincoln Baker, at Mark's side every mile of the way to map the route, prep the bikes, and help with first aid, was equally inspired.
Every single morning, I can't think of one morning he hasn't gotten up and said, it's a beautiful morning.
And then there were the people met along the way. In Breaux Bridge, Louisiana, Cajun country, Neil Angel, a longtime acquaintance of mine, recruited his cousin Toby Rodriguez and other family members to treat Mark and his fellow riders to a taste of their culture. A rich French-infused culture set in stone by their ancestors, exiled to the Louisiana swamps 2 centuries ago from what is now the Canadian Maritimes. Who could live in the swamps?
What you gonna do, sit and feel sorry for yourself? What good does that do? Nothing. Any personal tragedy or anything of that nature, you have a choice. You either, take what you have and make the best out of it, or you just, give up and surrender.
After riding the last mile of the journey with some members of his family, Mark Stephan reached the St. Augustine, Florida finish line after 76 days on the road. His story didn't make a dent on the national news front, which is too bad because it's a classic American tale of courage in the face of adversity, of people helping each other, and in the end,
It makes you feel good about the State of the Union.
2.
When the weather is good, Mark takes a daily stroll through our suburban Chicago town, shuffling slowly with his crutches. I can see him from my front porch, and he sees me, and he's smiling.
Thanks for joining us back inside What's Next. Thinking about and creating our own What's Next is important, but so is helping others find their What's Next. Life is all about moving forward and giving back. And it's the giving back part that gives us purpose, that can give our life meaning. I recently spoke with Steve Rand on the Growing Bolder podcast. Steve is in his 80s, and he could be laying low, enjoying his comfortable life here in the U.S., but he was deeply moved and he couldn't sit idly by when Russia invaded Ukraine, and he had to do something. But how can a common man make a difference in the lives of strangers living in a war zone 5,000 miles away? Rand founded the nonprofit Common Man for Ukraine and has traveled into the war zone a dozen times to deliver more than 4 million pounds of food, 10,000 sleeping bags, generators, and more. Here's a clip from our recent conversation. Unfortunately, the way that many people deal with these tragic, these unspeakable events is simply to look away. Because the more you look, the more heartbreaking it is, the more you feel like you can do anything. How do you not look away? How do you keep yourself simply saying, I can make a difference? I mean, you're 80 years old. You could pretty much lay low and chill in beautiful Plymouth, New Hampshire for the next couple of decades if you wanted to, hang out with the population of 6,600 people in Plymouth, but yet you're trying to make a difference on a global scale. How do you not look away? How do you push yourself into these types of conflicts?
Well, there is a certain thermodynamic thing here where once you get things going, it's hard to stop them. And it's hard to start them sometimes, but hard to stop. And our engagement and our knowledge and our context there in Poland and Ukraine just propel us to want to stay involved. We have a lot of skin in this game. We are working this project every day. It's the acceleration that maintains the interest. And if you stop accelerating, you're not just staying the same, you're going backwards.
What do you say to anyone of any age, but especially to older adults, about the ability we all have in our own way to make a difference in the lives of others?
I think part of the thing that I hear is that, I can't do that because I'm doing this over here, or I'm totally booked up, or whatever it is. And as we all know, ask a busy person to do something if you want to get it done. That's a good phrase. I think it's true. The other one is, it shouldn't be either or, it should be and plus. We are really privileged in this country to be able to have our own independence, to do what we want to do. Often we are able to do it financially. Even if not, we have the opportunity to help other people. It is one of the most fulfilling parts of life, is helping others. So it's not really a drag on you at all. Although if you aren't in the habit, you might have to work at it a little bit to get in the habit. I would suggest starting somewhere. Find a project, start on it, make a difference, pound yourself on the back, and say, what a good boy or girl am I, and go forward with that.
The truth is, we can all make a difference in the lives of others. Tennis legend Arthur Ashe probably summed it up best when he said, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. So challenge yourself to do something good for someone else today. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. It could be as simple as just picking up some trash as you walk around the block, visiting a lonely neighbor, or just calling a family member to check in on them and let them know that you care. And with that in mind, it's time now for our bold social clip of the week, coming from Growing Boulder's Instagram Reels. If you need more encouragement that you can make a difference in the lives of others, just listen to hero of the planet, oceanographer Sylvia Earle.
It's just individuals who always make a difference. Everything that happens, good or bad, starts with somebody doing something that has an impact around them. We could, if we wanted to, we could kill every last tuna. We could. We could find them, capture them, market them, eat them, and they'd be gone. We almost did it with whales. But somewhere along the line, individuals who saw whales differently could see them as individuals, see them as families, see them as fellow creatures on this miraculous blue planet, so that there is not commercial whaling anymore.
Welcome back to Growing Boulder's What's Next. Are you following Growing Boulder on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube? Each day we share inspiration from ordinary people. In fact, every week on Facebook we ask our followers to weigh in on the Your Take question. This time we ask, what is a quote or mantra that inspires you? Diana is inspired by Maya Angelou's quote, do the best you can until you know better, then when you know better, do better. Susan was inspired by the character Jan from the hit show The Office with advice to face one's fears. There are always a million reasons not to do something. Nanavelle says, it's the journey, not the destination, while Robin says, be here now. Sheila says, leap and the net will appear. And Jana says, make change happen. Pam Landry says, bet on yourself and make yourself proud. And finally, Phyllis says, her mother taught her the golden rule, treat others as you would like them to treat you. You know, a single positive thought can change our day, which is why we have our popular Bold Start email. Every morning, we send a single meme, a single thought directly to your email to help change your day. You can sign up for the free Bold Start at growingboulder.com. I started this show by asking why thinking about what's next is not in conflict with enjoying what's now. What's next is not about rushing through life or always chasing the next big thing. It's simply maintaining a sense of curiosity and excitement about what's still ahead. Without something to aspire to, our days can lose that spark that keeps us engaged with others. But when we wake up with a sense of purpose, whether it's learning something new, deepening our relationships, or embarking on a new experience, we stay engaged, energized, and more able to fully enjoy each moment. The key is balance, embracing today while eagerly anticipating tomorrow, because that's not just growing older, that's growing bolder. We'll see you next time.